So I just come out of an English class with someone who's in a very male-dominated industry, and we talked about rather than, kind of stepping up to become as masculine, bringing the feminine into that industry, because this is, something that we've learned or seen is massively missing in our society, right? Why there's so much imbalance. And instead of doing any of the coursework that we usually do, we had an hour-long conversation about, the balance between the masculine and the feminine energies, and the resistance that women have had toward their feminine sides and wanting or desiring to be more masculine. Now, I have absolutely been swallowed up into not a narrative, because I was too young to have been exposed to any of these narratives, but there was something inside me that rejected being feminine and being a woman even for so many years. And this happened, if you've read my book, you would have come across this story. It happened when I was about 12 years old. I shared a room with my brother, and my mom came to me one day and asked me to clean up the room. And I'd mentioned that my stuff had been cleaned, and she said that, yeah, but you are the girl, so you need to clean up after your brother as well, because this is going to be your role one day. And this little inner fire inside me came blasting out and completely rejected all things woman from that point on. So I was a tomboy growing up, and all my best friends, right up until now as an adult, have been male. And I found it very difficult to form meaningful or deeper relationships with women. Now, I've had a few women, over the years come into my life that have helped to heal some of that, feeling, or the rejection of female friendships. And if I had female friendships, I would always kind of like unknowingly keep them on the surface, but over the past 2 years as well, since the inner child stuff started coming up, I found myself having the desire to heal these feminine wounds, from the past. And something that I have become more curious about is like womb healing. Also, having traumatic experiences as a woman in my early adulthood years, the feminine was even more injured. So there's been a strong desire to kind of connect with this, this inner divine feminine. In fact, more than 2 years, when I was still in Korea, I would use the time that I would spend in like the saunas or the hot and cold tubs or baths, the bath houses in Korea, very popular. They're called saunas, so you can maybe look that up if you're curious. I would use that time in the water because I would go really early before anybody else would come, maybe around 5:30 or 6 o'clock as soon as it opened, and spend time in the water, in my body, like being really present with my body and appreciating this magnificent form that I'd been so disconnected from for so long. Being in Korea gave me an opportunity to connect more with the female side, in terms of wearing the dresses and the heels and exploring and experimenting with makeup and my hair and my nails and that kind of thing that I didn't really do when I was in South Africa. So it gave me the space to explore being a woman from that perspective, but not from the deep connection to like being a creator of life. And this is really not something that I've explored at all online. But this conversation really encouraged me or inspired me to talk about this. And it's something that I guess as this Kundalini stuff moves is also bringing online. So it's not, when you think about Kundalini being this feminine energy moving through your body, if that's what it is. I'm still learning this divine feminine energy. It kind of connects very deeply to, you know, the healing of the feminine, the healing of the womb healing, the sister wound. And she talked about how the lady online that I was in session with talked about how she's been a part of this women's circle for more than a year now in her neighborhood, where there are a few rules, one of which are you cannot give any opinions or any advice. And my gosh, this has you know, it's not easy to do that, because this masculine part of ourselves wants to help, wants to heal, you know, wants to fix things rather. Like, why don't you try this? Why don't you? But the space to actually just drop into your emotional body, or into your pain body, as Eckhart Tolle calls it, it is not completely safe and open when you know there is somebody in the circle who wants to change your current state of being, you know, who wants to give you advice on how to fix your emotions. So it seems there are some connections being made between this womb healing that I felt so drawn to, the sister wound, the divine feminine coming online, this goddess archetype, as well as this Kundalini awakening. So I find I'm in a very interesting period over the past maybe 3 years, even 3 to possibly 4 years, probably closer to 3, of gradually this feminine energy starting to wake up in me. I'm still very, very masculine oriented, but there are moments, you know, when I had come home in maybe 6 months after I had returned back to South Africa, where I really felt myself connecting with my body and being so, you know, intentional about the clothes that I would wear, because they made me feel a certain way, because and the way that I was caring for my skin and my hair, and the music that I'd listen to, and the way that I'd kind of relate to other people was just so allowing, or, you know, granting permission of this kind of feminine sensual side that is often so we're so disconnected from because of our masculine environment, our masculine society, you know, the way that the world currently works. So I wanted to come on without you know, purpose or intention on, you know, giving a specific thing, but just sharing this little insight and this beautiful moment of connection between me and this other woman, and sharing that with you guys. Anyway, we'll see, as I say at the end of most of the videos, where this energy takes me. And how the sharing changes and shifts over the coming months and weeks, because, you know, I think some of this healing work is done so deeply in the dark, and then when the sharing starts, this energy is already moving so rapidly. So the opening, or the stuff that happens in the light, tends to happen quite rapidly, because so much has already been done at a deeper level. Anyway, I will leave that with you guys and wish you a beautiful day, and I will see you guys soon. Much love and divine union between that feminine beautiful energy and the masculine protector. Much love.